The Cloverfield Paradox is a new sci-fi film and the third entry in the Cloverfield series that premiered on Netflix shortly after its first trailer was shown during the Super Bowl. It wasn't too long before critics began to voice their opinions on social media. Needless to say, the reviews did not fare well. But is the movie really all that bad? Let's find out. The Cloverfield Paradox was directed by newcomer Julius Onah, with a screenplay written by Oren Uziel and serves as a prequel to the series, while helping to connect all the movies together. The film is about a group of scientists aboard a space station who accidentally travel to an alternate dimension and try to make their way back home as it is being invaded by otherworldly creatures. Perhaps I should also explain what I thought of the previous two installments. Now, I consider myself a fan of the first Cloverfield, but discovered it way past its original release date in 2008, and only recently watched it after seeing its sequel in 2016. I found the first one intriguing, with a very different take on the monster movie genre. The found footage aspect, though gimmicky, made it stand out from the other monster movies of its kind. And I loved its sequel, 10 Cloverfield Lane, even more. It was a unique experience, and even made my top 10 of that year. I found the sequel even more compelling, with more emphasis on plot, story, and characters. Finally, we come to the Cloverfield Paradox, which tries to do all the things that made the first two good, but only is able to meet somewhere right in the middle. To say the Cloverfield Paradox isn't ambitious is an understatement. The film is large in scope, with terrific visuals and an interesting story to tell. But sadly, that story is bogged down by its narrative flaws. Uziel's script just borrows too many elements from other space thrillers, such as 2001: A Space Odyssey, and Alien, and even the more recent Life, that it comes off as just very unoriginal. There are some bright spots, though. The acting, for the most part, is quite good, no doubt helped by the very talented and diverse cast, including Daniel Bruhl, David Oyelowo, Chris O'Dowd, and Gugu Mbatha-Raw, who probably gives the best performance of the entire film. Nobody really stands out, because these are not deep characters, and when stuff starts to happen to them, I can't really feel for them as characters, because I don't feel like I know them. As for positives, the best part of the Cloverfield Paradox is easily its score and visuals. Bear McCreary composed the score for this film, and it is definitely up to par, with some really great music that helps to keep you on edge during the more tense moments of the film. But there's also a beautiful choral piece that plays around the 11-minute mark that made my jaw drop. This same moment of awe can also be contributed to cinematographer Dan Mendel. If you don't know who he is, he worked on the first two J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies, as well as Force Awakens, and his great cinematography continues to shine in this film too. Another problem I have with the film is a particular scene near the middle of the film that uses some very out-of-place comedy. In it, a crew member loses his arm, and there's some really bad CGI work, as you can see where the arm was cut off and inside of the arm. It just looks really, really fake, flat, and cartoony, and doesn't look like the inside of an arm, if that makes any sense. With all that said, good performances, music, and visuals are all good, but they can't save the film from its biggest problem, that being the script. I can still say, however, that I enjoyed watching The Cloverfield Paradox, but it's not a movie I would ever really want to go back and watch again. It's just altogether a very muddled experience, borrowing from other sci fi films without really having anything new to add. I think if you're a fan of the first two Cloverfields, you should check it out. If not, I say skip it. But if you do, I recommend starting with the first two, then watch The Cloverfield Paradox and see what you think for yourself. With all that said, I give The Cloverfield Paradox a 6 out of 10. If you liked the review, click the like button below, or comment in the comments section. I hope to have more of these out soon. Thank you all.